See if it actually starts recording. It'll tell us that it's recording.
So
And we are
live
recording. All right, guys, welcome. This is a little special edition of the podcast. We got a special member here today. Before we start on that, go ahead and say Coach. You got Coach, welcome.
What's up, fellas?
Trending, what's up?
What's up, everybody?
And we got Vic today, who created, I'm not going to say he created our website, but he gave me permission to steal his code for our website. So if you guys appreciate the more simplistic look that we got going on right now compared to last year's, we have this guy to thank. I found him. He has about I don't know 30 websites that I don't know if he created, but are at least using his code. And so we found him on one of the pages. Found him on Twitter, gave him a heads up, and he gave us permission to go ahead and use it. Go ahead and say a little something about yourself, Vic.
Oh, what's up, guys? Some people know me as 21 Lions. I just changed my name on Twitter to Kingdom, but I'm just a Madden fanatic. I'm retired now. I'm retired from Madden, but I still enjoy helping commissioners fix up their league. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. How long you been playing Madden?
I started in '92 on the Sega Genesis. And as soon as first, probably before that, it was Tecmo Bowl, which kind of got the bug started. But Madden 92 was when I first played Madden. And I've just been a diehard since. I was telling Phil before, hardcore CFM guy. Before it was online, I had buddies. We would play our league, save it on a memory card, pass it to the next guy. I mean, we were all about Madden and playing connected franchise mode.
Yeah, Trenny, you don't know anything about that, man. You were born into the days where everything's just given to you.
No, I still played it. I played it when it was on the old systems and all that.
Yeah, I was telling him he's played leagues before me. He was naming off sites that I wasn't even aware were a thing. But before Daddy Leagues, I remember there being a thing called League Daddy where we had to input the stats ourselves. And Vic was over here talking about some sites even before that where I don't even know, too far. I started in '97 myself, so I was about 5 years after you, but my league thing didn't start probably till 2004. So, all right, Vic. So what drove you? So you've never been a competitive, like, I'm not gonna say competitive Madden player, but a attorney type player. You've always looked for the sim.
No. I can't stand competitive gaming. I really think that was a death of Madden, and in a sense, it was a rebirth of Madden because Madden kind of reinvented itself once competitive gaming entered the field. I'm not a fan of that. I think sim, we can talk about that too. Sim means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but I just go by a franchise guy.
Okay, fair enough. I think some of us actually got our start. Like when I was younger, I just played the game to play the game, and before I played football myself. So a lot of us grew up. I know me and Trending. I doubt Coach has ever been an attorney guy. He's always an X's and O's coming from the high school football. But me and Trending came up. We grew up playing the attorney ball, and for me, it's not fun learning the meta when you could outcoach somebody. And
Well, let me ask.
Go ahead.
If I could ask you a question, and Trendy, tell me, because I don't normally. I think I talked to one competitive guy in my life. I don't watch the mutt stuff on TV or any of that. What is so appealing about that?
To be fair, now I haven't been a competitive player since 04, 05.
Yeah, I think
Same here.
I was gonna say I think the last time I played like that was right before I started like playing football. Once I started playing like my 7th, 8th grade year, I don't even know what year overall that was, but around then I was like, I still even started trying to do the stuff we did in the game, and it worked better than what I was doing before. So ever since then, I've just been playing more and more sim as I've gotten like older. So it's not appealing. I tried to play online earlier, and I ran the same 2 plays the whole time, and I'm like, it's just like and he was getting beat the whole game. I'm like, all right, it's not even fun anymore. So
Yeah. For me, back in the day, it was, believe it or not, as stupid as it sounds, it was the damn ranking. So, way back when it first came online, it was a big push to jump onto the Madden bus. So if they took the top, I want to say 500 players or something like that, and they competed on what they called a Madden bus in a live stadium. And if you moved on, and so early on, that was the big draw for me. It was like, all right, I want to see how far can I push this envelope competitively. But then very quickly, it started to change once I found a group of guys that were interested in sim over win. Because if you don't find that group of guys, you don't have that experience. You don't even know it exists. Yeah. But once you do, it's almost impossible to go back.
Yeah. I jumped off the train before the MUT thing, and I got to say, I don't see any enjoyment anybody can get out of MUT, so I don't even know.
Yeah. Do you guys remember that year where I don't know how long it lasted, but they had a ton of players who were like 99 everything? It was like a year or two ago.
In MUT?
Yeah. Because when you go on Madden, on the home screen, they always advertise MUT stuff. And I remember seeing that, and I'm just like, what is the point? If every single player is 99s all across the board, what are you doing? Where's the enjoyment?
Well, with the way these guys spend money on MUT, all their guys are 99 across the board anyway. You'd be surprised the amount of money people spend on that shit.
And that's the thing. I mean, franchise guys we're paying are 60, and that's all they get out of us. So, have you played Madden 20 this year, Vic?
I haven't. I retired last December. Got rid of my Madden, got rid of my PlayStation.
Yeah. I gotta say, Madden 19 was the worst Madden in years, so I don't even blame you. But Madden 20, yeah, that was a good stop. We all questioned our ability to keep playing at some point last year. Like this is rough, but this year
it's tough.
This year
I've heard good things though. I see YouTube videos. I still kind of follow it on Twitter. I'm still involved by creating the websites, and I'm hearing good things. What do you guys like about it the most?
Okay, I think I gave it I think all three of us were in our review video trending. I'm not sure if you were now. I know Coach was. I think this year is perhaps a step in the right direction. Probably not as far as it needs to be. The movement's a lot better. Player movement is 10 times better. Looks like we just got somebody joining. I have no idea who they are. But player movement's better. Some of those X Factor abilities are I should say superstar. I don't think X Factor even matters, honestly. You don't get it, and then you lose it so quickly it doesn't even matter. But the superstar abilities are kind of cool. A little overpowered. I can tell they're built for MUT because without an X Factor pass rusher, you're not getting any pass rush at all. But if you have an X Factor, and Coach can attest to this, if you got Von Miller, that's a 7-sack a game potential right there.
Oh, geez.
So when you go into MUT, you get the pass rush from those guys. But if you go into a franchise and you don't have somebody like Von Miller, let's say you're the Dolphins or the Lions, for example. Coach has played with the Lions also. He's the Lions in NSL, actually, so he's in my division. The pass rush just isn't there, and they made the zones a little weaker because the pass rush is so good with these X Factors that I feel like in a franchise setting, it kind of is detrimental. So I think that the pass rush isn't as good as it could be in franchise. Pretty much what I'm saying is the gameplay is better, but it's still geared towards MUT, and could be some things that franchise could have a little bit better. So, all right, Coach, go ahead. I'm sorry, I was ranting there. How do you feel about 20 compared?
Yeah, I think I agree with everything July said. In addition to that, I think they've made some strides in certain areas. Blitz, reading blitzes, being able to attack a blitz. Prior games, you couldn't attack a blitz. If they blitzed you, the user could just sit over the top and take the ball away. You can't really do that. I mean, you get user picks a lot this year, but you can actually get the ball over the top of the linebackers, and you can actually read how to beat a cover 2. Guy can't stay in a cover 2 versus you all game, or a cover 3. You can actually read it and call the right play. But to that detriment, you're getting guys who are going 18 for 20 for 300 yards and 5 touchdowns, and so that makes it a little unrealistic. So it's they don't have the right balance. I would compare it to the first year they brought out the hit stick. Everyone loved it, and it was like, man, this thing is awesome, and you used it, but there were so many other flaws in the game. And so I think this year they focused on the touch passing and the lob passing, and when you use those features, it's great, but there's so many other flaws defensively that they've got to fix it. And so next year, hopefully, will be a defensive focus, or next patch, if I had, my best scenario in the world. But we all know that's not going to happen. So, but that's my take anyway. But all in all, considering, I'd say it's one of the better Maddens in the last, 3 or 4 years.
Trending?
Yeah, I can agree. I think like the biggest thing that I realized is, like Coach said, was the passing. I mean, there was times last year I could see like a blitz coming off the left side, off my left tackle, and they'd pick it up, and I would throw it. I knew I'd only have 2 guys on that side of the field coverage with 3 routes going. Somebody's open, all of a sudden, the middle linebacker is running halfway across the field and takes away every single route. You can't throw it. So, like, that's gone. I mean, I know now, like, if I play and I leave somebody open on the left side, I know I'm fucked. Especially when I'm playing coach, because he knows what's coming. But I think the big thing that they're starting to miss out on now is their deep balls. Like, when you're throwing a streak, you get some guy, you got Tyreek Hill, for example, has like a 1 or 2 step lead. He catches a streak. 9 times out of 10, he's going to beat the guy all the way down the field. And man, they're still shoestring tackling you, knocking the ball out. And I get it, so that nobody's cheesing over the top the whole game. But if it's open and it's there, it should have hit.
Fair enough. Oh, that's our thoughts, Vic. Go ahead.
I just, since I haven't played this year, like one of my biggest, I had a lot of pet peeves, but I just felt like the animations decided the outcomes too much. It was almost to the point where it was pointless to position yourself. It was almost pointless to your stick skills because the animations decided the outcome. Do you guys see that still?
Yeah, a lot of that's still in there. Some of it's better. Like I said, the movement in open field is so much better. You can actually user stick somebody out of their boots. But, you're still going to get the animations for the pass rush, and you're still going to get the animations for going up and getting the ball, and it's animation based. So whatever's going to happen is going to happen no matter what you do. So it's better. But if the animations really killed you, I don't think this is a game changer this year.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go all the way left with it. When the ball's in the air, it especially on a lob pass, you're going to get an animation 9 out of 10 times. And you just hope that your guy's in the right animation position. I mean, that's pretty much it. Yeah, so I don't think they're going to fix that as long as they are trying to incorporate the, one-handed catches, and they're trying to incorporate the big receivers like Julio Jones. I mean, if you play with Atlanta, you can always throw the ball up, and Julio will literally go get it just about 90% times.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Some of me wants to be like, well, that's because in real life he dominates like that, and then other parts of me wants to say, yeah, but he shouldn't. So it's kind of split down the middle, I guess.
Did you guys ever hear that interview Rex Dixon had when he was still at EA? He said one of the marketing guys that came up to him and said, man, my son loves the aggressive catch. And he just said, he thought to himself, I've screwed up. I think he said I effed up because he knew what he had created.
Well, I remember that interview. He said beforehand, he was like, I was going into this meeting with this guy thinking it's like, hey, I made this a little too overpowered. And as soon as he gets in the meeting, the dude's like, my little 5-year-old cousin loves it. I was like, oh, man, yeah.
But I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. The reason I joined July, to be on here is because, like I said, I used to be a commissioner, and what EA doesn't get, and a lot of those marketing guys don't get. Am I coming across clear, or am I?
Yeah, you're good, man.
No, you're good.
Okay. What they don't get is what CFM leagues like this are all about. The camaraderie, the brotherhood, a lot of the immersion that people don't get from the game itself, they create, with YouTube channels, websites, content, And they don't have any clue about that. They just see the bottom line. They see the money that they're making, but they don't realize half of the hype, half of the immersion is being built by the users and the commissioners.
I give a good example of that is why they lost the NBA war. Live went realistic and tried to get immersion. Everything, I'm not saying 2K is the best basketball game ever, but 2K, they went that direction. Live went the arcade direction, and arcade and Live had a huge head start. Like NBA Live was what we played growing up. When 2K comes out of nowhere, they go realism, immersion, and they trampled Live to the dirt where they can't even put out a game anymore.
Right.
And you would think that would give EA like a stop and think about this. Like, well, maybe we should go for realism and immersion too. No, still going for aggressive catches. So.
Yeah, but that's always going to be the case because EA did what 2K didn't, and they locked up the NFL contract. So there is no other game that's going to come out. The one thing 2K also did is they decided to stop focusing on a bunch of different sports. They dropped baseball and went straight and put all their resources to basketball to present the best game they could get. EA hasn't done that, and so you kind of see the results.
It's true. All right. Well, we've dished on the Madden. We all know what Madden is. Vic, let me ask you one question though before we get off topic. That topic. Were you a fan back in PS2 days? You grew up playing them with me. Were you as big of a fan as not only ESPN 2K5 but even Madden 05 and Madden 06? Did you feel like they were better games than back? I personally do. That's why I'm asking.
Oh yeah. I think was that the one with Michael Vick on the cover?
That was 04. 05 had Ray Lewis.
I played that game so much.
I'm just saying that generation of Madden, the PS2 generation.
Oh, yeah. Madden. The Tony Bruno show. You got the newspaper articles. You could hear people call in on the radio station to talk about your team. Every now and then, they even had an actual player's voice. So if you were the Raiders, you could hear an interview with Charles Woodson. And eventually, if you played it long enough, it got repetitive, and you would hear the same interview again. But it didn't even matter. It was so good. Plus, what you could do at like your training camp and practice, you actually had practice gear on. Yeah, I absolutely love that game.
Okay, I'll just make sure I'm not just super nostalgic about it. I remember those old days. I'm like, man, they were just so much better back then, and we're getting like 75% effort right now. All right. So let me ask you this: Have you had it? Did you look at our website at all? I don't know if I even gave you a link to it.
Man, you know what? You did a good job, July.
Thanks. I was going to ask you, how good of a job did I do stealing your code?
When I first looked at it and you told me that you had it, you were like, oh, I got it down packed. And I went on there and I was like, whoa, this guy needs some help. But I went on there recently and you got it, man. It looks great. I just respect the fact that you even reached out to me to ask. That was so cool. Because usually, like I said, people won't do that. If they know how to steal it, they'll just steal it. But that was cool that you asked, and you did a great job. It looks good.
Thanks, man. Well, I think here at NSL,
you guys like it? Feel trendy? Do you like going on there?
I think it's the best one so far. I mean, it's why you're here, to be honest with you. it's the best one so far.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I've seen as a league, I've went over probably 1,000 different Daddy League pages, man, and only all of the good ones have something about you on there. Might not have your name anywhere on it, but you can tell it's your page. And I was like, man, I got to get this guy because I asked you. I went into, I don't know if anybody knows it, but I went in. And I was like, hey, man, how much you want to create our page? That's where I started. And he's like, I'm retired. And I'm like, crap,
It was a long journey. Like we were talking about the different sites before, and the first one, I forget what Derek Adams' site was called. I think it's like League Manager or something. You could do the draft and stuff. There was no customization on that. And then XFN came, and you could do a little bit of customization. And I'm an artist first, so I would look at different people's site. I'm like, wow, how do you change the colors? How did you do that? And someone told me, oh, you can use Photoshop to create. I had never even heard of Photoshop at that time. But all these things just piqued my interest. And initially, it's selfishness. You want your league to look the best. And so I started down that route. But once I got going, I'm like, you know what? It's not just about my league. Everybody deserves to have good looking leagues, because and now the day and age that we're in now, every single league is almost just about every league. They are so legit now. The commissioners and the guys who help out the commissioners, you guys are killing it, man. Like the landscape of Madden leagues now are quality. It's very quality. So it's good for users.
Yeah. I agree. It is it's what makes our league run. Like I said, I'm not a huge Madden fan that as it is these days, but I love the league. I love running my league. So I love the people. I'm talking to guys. So it looks like we lost trending somewhere, but I love the league. So how'd you get into code? So did you go to school for coding? You just learn it off your own? How did you get coding though?
Like I said, I was an artist. I like drawing and stuff, painting, and then once I saw, and I love football, I played football, I coached football, I played Madden. So when I saw that you could have the opportunity to apply some artistic, feel to your league, oh man, I was gone. I would come home from night, stay up until the sun comes up the next morning, just trying stuff. And I didn't know how to do anything. So I just read articles or watch YouTube videos and just keep trying and trying and trying until it looks good. And every year, you just learn a little bit more and more and more.
By far, the things you've able to accomplish, like I said, there's a reason that I want to say that when I asked him if I could take his code, he asked for no payment or anything. We still donated money to him because I feel like his work is that good that we had to pay him for his work, man, because his abilities are just so much better than. Like, if you go to the default Daddy Leagues page, it's trash. It's just being honest, it's trash. And then you see Vix, and it's like, oh my God, this is quality,
Yeah, well, I appreciate Daddy Leagues in the sense that they even give us the avenue to do that. It's nice that we have that opportunity. The problem is most people don't know how to do that. They go to the CMS, and they're like, what is all of this? I don't know how to do anything with this. So it's not for everyone, but I appreciate that the opportunity is there. And then plus being a commissioner, what your league needs. Yeah. And so half of the time, like my layouts were designed behind what my league needs. You want to be able to communicate important information on there. You want to make sure that the information is displayed visually in a way that everyone, appreciates. Yeah, there's a lot more that can be done. Like I have visions of like a site where, because right now there's no one place for everything. People have Discord, they have Band, they have GroupMe, they have Twitch, they have YouTube. Imagine a site that had all of your statistics, that could upload, your Twitch or YouTube videos all in your user profile, that had a chat room. All of those things all in one, that would be the ideal feature. And also to be able to make your trades, to be able to draft from this app or this website, that's where we need to get.
Hey, I agree, man. If you look at our old page, you can't anymore, but we had, I don't know how many links, so many links on that damn page, and it was full up, and I think it looked good at the time 2 years ago, 3 years ago, but as you progress, you realize it's just a cluttered mess. You just keep adding stuff and adding stuff and adding stuff, which is why I'm so happy with your current design. I simplified everything, put it where I need it, made it look pretty, easy information for anybody that needs it. And then I put, like you said, we run a Discord, and I have the links in there. But yeah, that would be nice if everything we have right now. I have probably 7 different pages and websites devoted to one league, and it'd be great if everything was just in one place. I agree, that'd be kind of cool.
So if there's any people out there that have a lot of money and want to sponsor this idea, let's go.
Yeah, that's Diego. We got it. We got one.
Hey Phil and Trendy, what do you guys usually do on the site? Like, do you go on it on your desktop? Are you more mobile? And when you are on there, what are you looking at, or what do you wish you could see that's not there?
Me, I like personally when I usually because I'll get on it like when I'm over at like in class and all that, looking up like who I have to play for like the next night. So I'll look up their teams and like what their stats are. So trying to figure out people like their best players. So like if I'm gonna go play the Raiders, I know I'm gonna get Antonio Brown shoved down my throat all game. But who's their backup wide receiver that he's gonna go to on dump off situations? If he's got a bunch of catches and not a lot of yards, he's probably gonna try to hit him underneath. So like I usually look through a lot of the stats like that and try to piece together things. I don't know anything to add really. And I like everything. I enjoy everything that's on there. It helps me out in the long run. So
Yeah, I think for me, I go up on my mobile phone a lot, like he said, just to kind of see who I'm playing next, look at trades a little bit, and I'm a box score whore, so I'm all over the box scores, looking at what people did each week, trying to get like I said, a rhythm for what they're doing. Same thing he said, Trending said, looking for just different things that they're doing within their scheme, trying to catch it through stats so I could adjust for it. But mainly I go off my phone a lot, so the recent changes have helped tremendously, for sure.
Yeah, what's up? Hey, who else is in here? We got another person in here.
It is it's Country Kane.
Kane, what's up, man?
What's going on?
Well, I'm guessing you've
Kane,
been
how you
hearing
doing?
everything that's happening.
Yeah.
You got anything to add, man?
Basically, I do it. Yeah, use it for the same thing that Code and Coach use it for. I usually go on my phone, see who I'm playing next, try to figure out how they use certain people, and that. But yeah, I agree. The changes are very helpful to the site.
Yeah. Well, the changes are exclusively 100% Vic's doing here because otherwise we'd be rocking with the default site, and I don't like their layout because I don't like how it's AFC and then a bunch of random information and then NFC, and it's just like it's out of order. What you got is perfect. Just scroll through, get exactly what you need. It looks pleasing to the eye. Obviously, there's some things I haven't been able to replicate fully yet. We'll get to that.
Yeah, remember I said we can talk anytime, and whatever you need, I still have that code saved, so I could help you out. But
appreciate it. Yeah.
Like one thing, since we're on here, I'll just tell you too. Like I have things that I never displayed, like on the team page. Using jQuery, we can put in coaches' names. Pretty much, you can put in any information you want. So if you want to list who's the coach, if you want to keep track of his record, I can implement that stuff. There's a lot, because I had some older sites where I would do that, and I would keep track of people's record throughout the course of the franchise, and I would show like if they won Super Bowls, a little Super Bowl trophy would appear. I had a lot of stuff, but
oh man,
yeah. Hey, is there a plugin, Vic, that you know of to Discord? Because we use Discord currently. Is there a direct plugin?
This plugin.
I think Daddy League has that.
Yeah, so it's going to update the scores in the chat.
Okay, so it's plugged in because I know it was broken for a while.
It's not plugged in yet because we haven't started. As soon as we start, I'll plug it into that league because otherwise you're just going to get a bunch of stat updates for games that I'm sitting just to test stuff out. But yeah. I mean, it's cool how much they add. It'd be cool if they added some more stuff. Like I wish they showed that when they advanced the games that were happening in some quick little format or something, but they don't. So we do.
It'd be nice too to see like the top performers from the previous week. Like once you advance, just to show like who the top performers were. I know they added like the season leaders. They have that in there. And then you can see the league leaders, but it'd be nice to see like who were the top 5 from the past week.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
We actually keep stats for a lot of the season goals. Like I don't think it's on the page at the moment because we moved it to Discord because, like I said, we're trying to keep the page cleaner. But we have stats where we keep up most sacks in a season, most interceptions in a season throughout all of our seasons. So we actually have a lot of stats. Yeah.
Who's keeping track of all that stuff?
At the end of the season, we go through. I have he's not in here currently, but we have a guy that goes through and takes out the information, goes through every single thing. At this point, we've played. This is our 6th season, so we've had a ton of seasons, so that they're not getting updated as much as when we first started.
Okay.
So I think only 2 records got broken last year, so which was, I don't know, interceptions maybe. We throw a lot of those. So, but yeah, we got a lot of stuff ourselves, and we run a lot of analytics too. We make sure we're trying to be within NFL rules. So
that's pretty cool. Hey, July, I had a question for you, and if you guys want to talk about it, maybe we could talk about it. But I remember back when I was a commissioner, helping so many leagues, I would always like to get that conversation going about sim leagues.
Yeah.
Are you guys considered a sim league? Because like I used to, simulation used to mean something. You would try to replicate the NFL. But if you look, there was a period of time where Madden sim leagues, they did not replicate the NFL whatsoever. Madden sim leagues almost became leagues where if you did something well, you better bet that there's a rule coming that you can't do that anymore. And so I just want to hear, what do you guys think about that? And
I will say I've talked to some people. By the way, Diego, welcome.
Where am I? I don't see myself.
You got to hit the middle button to get your camera going, buddy.
The middle button
says show video.
Oh. I got to set my camera then. All right, you guys keep talking.
All right. And so I was talking to some people recently, did a lot of recruiting. We have 2 leagues. We have our main league and we have a developmental league to try and get people up to main league standards before we get called up, because I like my main league to be run perfect, like one is. But I've been doing a lot of recruiting, and I've been told that we are super strict, apparently. Super sim is what
you're a super sim.
And I like to think we have enough rules in place where we give a lot of people freedom to do things that are within NFL standards. Like, for example, we have some pretty strict quarterback rushing rules because we feel like it's a bit overpowered. But Diego over here uses the Ravens, and he has rushed for 15 times a game with Lamar Jackson within our rules. So we feel like if you're within our rules, and like I said before, we have analytics that you have to stay within. So you can only, and these are real life analytics. I did all the math and everything. I got legit sources. They're all cited. So for example,
Sound like a commissioner, July.
George Kittle caught 28.3% of the passes last year. So, and I think that was the highest out of like the last 5 years. So the max anybody can go to one specific tight end is 28.3% of the time. And if you go above that, then we suspend you for that player for a few games, pretty much PEDs. And we have, it's not just that. I mean, it's everything. Most passes to a non-wide receiver, most passes to, most rushes, most percent of the time is shotgun, which is drastically shot up, and I think will be broken this year with Arizona's offense in real life. Most rushes with the quarterback, which the 40% of the time Lamar ran the ball last year, so that breaks. A lot of our things get broken occasionally, but we have analytics. We try and be within them. We don't have any crazy 4th down rule. That's one thing that a lot of leagues have. Our rule is if a coach would go for it, you can. But, that's a coach isn't going for it every 4th down. A coach is going for it smartly. So if you feel like you're being one of those guys who's just being way too aggressive, we'll get on to you, get you to come back. Again, that's what the developmental league is for, to get everybody within our league standards. So I like to think we're sim, but we're still open to your style of play. Like I said, Diego has a very unique style of play. I have Diego's a very rush-oriented guy. He does crazy rushes, runs with quarterback a lot with Lamar Jackson. I'm very pass-happy. Coach has always been a run-heavy defensive guy, and Trending is also another defensive guy. So we each have our own styles. We like to try and mix the styles up. In Madden is kind of hard to do because you play in the metas, you play in one way.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What do you guys think? Coach, you've been in a few leagues for this one. Are we Sim? What do you?
Well, I think the key to us is is ASL. Believe it or not, I think it's a big key to what we do. Being able to have guys come through that league before they actually get to NSL, they know what to expect, and they've kind of already built a camaraderie. They understand what they're coming into, as compared to every time a team member leaves or we lose a user. We don't have to bring in someone brand new and go through this whole new process. This person probably has been playing in our feeder league for a couple of years before they even had an opportunity to get called up. So I think that helps keep us somewhat sim. Also, I think the idea of communication. I don't think anyone really comes at you sideways. They come at you with facts, analytics. And so it's really hard to not agree with it. It's like, well, all right, this is either a league for me or it's not. And we find that out pretty soon. So I think we do a real good job of it. And that's a testament to, one, how long it's been running and how many guys are still around doing it. That and I would say the age group of guys. I mean, we have guys, myself, I'm about to turn 43, and guys older than me, and then guys that are, as young as, 18 or so. So, it's a big range, but yet we all have one common thing, and that's Madden. So that makes it pretty cool as well.
How you play doesn't always factor into being in our league. Also, we've had some people that played by the rules and were sim and all this, but they just didn't fit in our community. So you got to fit in the community also, because that's part of the thing too. If you don't fit, if you're in there, if you get in arguments, you're not for us, because you're not what we're looking for. So that's another thing too. Diego, you have been in quite a few leagues before you joined us. By the way, Diego, this is where some of your donation money went to up here in Dick. So. Diego is a huge league funder, but I think he bought us 8 Madden games last year. But that being said, Diego, you've been in quite a few leagues. You stuck around in here. What makes you think that we're sim or less sim, or what makes this a better sim league?
By far, I mean, I'm the oldest guy in here, so I won't even say my age anymore. But I'm older than dirt. And I do know that as you get older, you tolerate less things in life. So the one thing I don't tolerate is just immaturity, chat, people putting up crap, just stupid stuff, trying to impress or be funny. I understand, but as you get older, you don't tolerate that stuff. And to me, the chat is important, and the guys in here are mature. By the most part, very mature, even the younger guys. And that to me is important, because there's a lot of leagues that I've been kicked out of because I start, speaking my 2 cents, and then I'm very transparent when I talk. I say what I got to say, but it's just the maturity level is really good. The play style, it's sim, and people respect each other in here. That's the thing. We may never see each other for the rest of our lives in person, but it's a community and it is a family. And sometimes this family is a little better than the one we got. I'm just kidding. But, it's important, like the buddies, I personally don't have any friends. I really don't. Maybe 1 or 2, that's it. So I don't really, deal with much. But this league is great. As a matter of fact, before I wanted to be in ASL also, remember you guys said no for now, whatever. And then I said, well, I'll just be in one league then, even though I love playing Madden. And then all of a sudden, you guys gave me, a chance to play with the Jaguars. And I took them. And this is the only 2 leagues that I will be in for the rest of my life. That's it. I'm done. Just these 2.
That's what I'm talking about right there. The EA marketers and stuff, this is the kind of stuff they need to hear. Because if they knew this kind of stuff, maybe they might look at the game a little differently. Because, I understand that completely. My league, I walked away from all my guys. I walked away from PlayStation, and, they probably hated me for that. But, man, I would be on the phone with my guys. They called me anytime. I called them anytime. It's like you said, it was a brotherhood. And I kind of missed that a little bit. So I understand what you're saying, Diego.
I gotta give props to you. I don't know how you walked away, man. I've had times where I'm like, this is it. Yeah, I played a good Madden game and I had 4 volleyball interceptions and some momentum going the other guy's way that just didn't make any sense. And I'm like, this is it. This is the last Madden game I play it. Here I go, back every year, spending my 60.
Yeah. I think for me, what ended up happening, I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but this is what happened to me. I loved my league so much. I loved Madden. I enjoyed playing with my guys and stuff. But I remember times where like my daughter or my wife would be looking at me and they may have wanted something or needed something, but they were like, oh, you're on Madden. And I'm thinking you guys maybe have had that situation before, but it never bothered me until last year it started to bother me. And I just had to make a decision.
I understand that. Hey, that's completely understandable. I try. Like I said, we all can't. That's what the part of the community for us is for, though. Trending down here helps. Coach helps. Their help run the like I said, we have 2 leagues. I'm mainly in charge of the NSL one, and it runs itself at this point. When you have 32 people together, as long as we have, it mainly runs itself. There's very little issues, so I can just play my 3 games a week, which we advance 3 times a week, and I'm just fine. I do this when we have the time, but yeah.
Are you guys PS4 or Xbox?
No, we're Xbox, man.
Okay. Because, man, you guys are talking and you make me want to go to GameStop.
Sorry, man.
Make me want to go to the system.
We part of the thing with Coach was talking about maturity and Diego maturity. That's why our advanced schedule is the way it is. It's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's because so many people
nice.
have families and like.
See, I was doing a 24-hour, and yeah, those will drain you right there.
Yeah, so we do a 3-week advance, because people in here have families. They can't be on Madden 24/7. They get in their league, play 3 games a week. It's not too much to ask for people with families. We don't ask for anything crazy from you. Just 3 games a week and, be there for the draft if you can be, So that's one of our.
I'll be quick to tell you, there's times that I'm on vacation or something. Family comes first, and that's number one. And if we miss a game, we miss a game. You guys understand. No one's gonna really get mad on you because they understand you're trying your best to get your games in. So
yeah, we don't hold any punishments for vacations or anything like that. Anybody can say that. I mean, we require obviously people to play their games. It's not like people are missing whole seasons or anything. But when people go on vacation in here, we understand, man. Hey, it is what it is. Shit happens. So.
Do you have a position rule? I just want to talk about those rules and stuff. Do you have position rule changes?
Yeah. We
who can go where and who can't go where?
All right. Well, pretty much the only people that are changing are safeties can go to other safeties or corners. The safeties and corners are pretty interchangeable. And linemen, offensive linemen are pretty interchangeable. Other than that, all the position changes and literally every position change has to come through us. We don't allow, no matter how stupid and simple it is, it's got to come through us. So the only other real position changes we are from the 4-3 to the 3-4 or 3-4 to the 4-3, where you have to change some of your linebackers to ends or ends to D tackles or something like that. So we're pretty strict on that. We like to keep people in their positions. We're not one of those leagues that's like, hey, well, if the wide receiver has I don't care what speed that wide receiver has. He's not a tight end, So, and no running backs and halfback, any of that. Our position changes are fairly, again, I don't like to say we're a strict league, but stricter than most.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's good. Yeah, I remember having to do that stuff, and I kind of just went off of what the NFL would do. Like, I would find who the smallest tight end is, height and weight-wise, and if that was the smallest tight end in the league, I would say that's the smallest your tight end could be, height and weight-wise.
We do that. We do that a lot for some of the linemen because some people in a
try to put a safety at DN or something.
We don't do that. But some people like will have a 4-3 end and they want to move him to defensive tackle, and I'm like, all right, let me see what he weighs. He weighs 270. That's not big enough for D end. He's got to be 290. So we do something similar on a lot of those. So yeah, position changes. Like I said, I don't not want to call it super strict, but we
I think it's got to make sense.
Yeah.
It's just got to make sense, and we're all football guys, so if it makes sense, makes sense.
That's cool, man. That's what makes a league great, when you have rules that are just black and white, and everybody gets them, and everybody follows them. I used to, I'm a man of faith, and the Bible told us that the strength of sin is a law. So like whenever you just start throwing out rules for the sake of throwing out rules, you better believe you're gonna have some people break it. But when you got a community like you guys have, that's awesome, because then everybody is policing it.
Yeah, again, NSL, not a problem. ASL, on the other hand, sometimes we replace a lot of people in that league. Sometimes it doesn't work out, So ASL gets a little bit more, which is NSL is our primary, ASL is our developmental. I guess I'd never even told you that, but yeah, we have some issues in our developmental at that time. But that's one thing we do is we have one of our main guys in each division in our developmental league to help police it. So it's all about this diffusion of responsibility. Everybody has a little piece. If you want this league to be great, you got to help do your part. Coach does his part. Trending does his. Coach has played a lot of our secondary guys, and he's in our secondary league. So Coach is a perfect example of doing his part. He's making sure that
that's awesome.
The people that are playing in that league are ready to be called up, and it's his responsibility. I'm not in both leagues. I help run ASL, but I don't have the time to play both in both leagues. So it's great to have somebody like Coach here, Trending here, who are in both leagues and are able to make sure the people in those leagues are ready to be called up. So.
Do you notice in the leagues that the people who usually win, like always win, and the people who usually lose are typically always losing? Or do you see change?
I'm going to say no. I think 2 years ago, we called up a dude that was 0-16. He was 0-16, but he was super active, and he was sim, and he was very active in the chat. Everything you asked from a dude besides winning, he did it. So I was like, all right, well, screw it. He's going to get the call up. He got the call up his first season. He went 0-16. He has one of our interception records, 62 interceptions. But this Madden, that was last Madden. This Madden, he took the Steelers and made it to the playoffs once or twice.
Nice.
So
AFC North bad or something, or what's
no? He just played really well with the Steelers. He got his game up. So I've won a Super Bowl in our league. I won one, but I've also had a 3-13 season in our league, man.
So there is parity then.
Sometimes. Trending over here, he won our last 3 Super Bowls. He went off last Madden. He got some very lucky breaks. But for the most part, there's parity. I wouldn't say we have. Trending is probably the only back-to-back winner we have, and he won it 3 times. Right. And a lot of that is just because our AFC is a little weaker than the NFC. He doesn't have to run through the gauntlet that we
that's a shot, Trend, dude. That's a shot right there.
I'm not gonna, 2 of those years I only had 9 wins. I got in the playoffs, and I'd be playing.
He won a playoff game off of a tipped interception that landed into his guy's hand for a touchdown with time expiring to go on and win a Super Bowl off of that. So, I mean, it's just, yeah, I'd say we have a lot of parity. We don't have, again, there's people that are still not perennial Super Bowl contenders, but Diego's gotten a lot better. For example, Diego used to be a 3-4 win team. He pulled up to 8-8, 9-7 last year, right, Diego?
I don't think I hit 9 wins yet, but I'm gonna get there this Madden. I promise. I played more games. I don't know who played more games, me or Coach, so far. I think between both of us, we must have played at least 100 games.
Kane over here. Kane is
the
perfect example of parity. Kane will go 5-11, and I needed 1 win to get into the playoffs, and I was like 9-6 going into it, and Kane was 5 wins, and he destroyed me. Just took me out of the playoffs.
I will say this: if you play in the NSL, you will get better. It's just it's hard to not get better because no one there is holding information like, I'm not telling you. They actually are like, hey, bro, if you do this with your team, you'll probably be better. And so because that community is there to still kind of help you somewhat, you're going to get better if you want to get better. And I truly believe that. I've seen it. I've seen guys we just said. I think Diego's one of them. I've played him a bunch of times this Madden, and I will say he's going to do better than he did last year. I don't know how well he's going to do, but he's going to do better than he did last year. So, and I think that's to be said about a lot of the guys once the game keeps going. I think it's that good old thing, steal, start, and steal. You play good competition, you're going to get better.
Yeah, I've had a couple games where I've played people and be like, hey, man, listen, you were running the ball at first and killing me. You abandoned the run, went to the pass through 5 interceptions. Like, why did you abandon the run? Keep sticking with the run, So that's the kind of advice we give people after we play them. Like, hey, man, if you would have done this, you would have had a better shot of beating me personally, So it's kind of part of the community thing, though.
You guys pretty much have Magic to blame for my 3 Super Bowls last year because after I think it was the second season he beat me in the playoffs. And I was like, I wasn't doing too well those first 2 years. And he's like, hey, man, just keep running the ball with Derrick Henry, and I guarantee he'll start winning games. And I'm like, okay. And then I started with Derrick Henry, and I started winning more games. And I picked up one more piece on offense, and I was like everything clicked at once, finally.
Nice.
So, all right, man, we've been on here for 50 minutes. I don't want to keep your time any longer. Is there anything else you had for us, man? Any advice? You've been commissioner for longer than we've known Madden Leagues were a thing, so.
No, man. A lot of the things you guys do are a lot of the things that I did and are really good things. And you guys have an awesome community. I enjoyed talking with you guys. And, July, we'll continue to chat over Twitter. I think one thing that you might like is implementing that coach and maybe even keeping track of total records or something like that.
That sounds awesome.
So, we'll talk about that, and maybe we'll get that on the site so guys can kind of see, what has Trendy done over his years and how is Diego doing and what's his combined record. And so
that all sounds amazing. So, and I appreciate any help you can give us. Like I said, we're very thankful. I think from the rip, we've made it known that we're not trying to be freeloaders here. We do whatever we can, and we appreciate the help. I think what you've done is very artistically worth our time, and so. And anybody watching that isn't, or I think we have a few commissioners actually in our league. A lot of commissioners like running an NSL too because they can lay back and not have to worry about everything, but it's still good rules. So, Kingdom, Vic, he put in. If you go to Daddy League forums, I don't think it's the one we're using right now, coding, but it's I think your newer version. You said, right?
Yeah, so it's a Madden 21. A Madden 20 version. I was asked to remove some things because it was stressing out the server, so I removed a lot of the things I put in there aren't new things. I was just taking them from other pages and displaying them on the homepage, like the logos and images and stuff like that. So it's simplified, but for commissioners who may be looking for a nicer layout this year, that one is in the tutorial section.
Yeah, and it's free. Just copy paste. I think even I think I looked at it for a minute. It even tells you where to put your information. So if you got, I know I actually had 1 or 2 people ask me about you, and I was like, I think he's retired, but this is perfect for you because he just gave them what they needed, Yeah. So, all right, I think that's all we got. I really appreciate you coming on, man. Thanks for an hour of your time. And anybody else got anything to say before we leave?
Hey, the double team does work.
Yeah.
Double team.
Yeah, they just added double teams to the offensive line.
Oh, really?
This update.
Oh,
so you were able to force a double team on anybody you want. Just helpful, the X Factor. I don't have to get sacked by Von Miller 7 times by coach anymore.
Trendy, it was great talking to you. Diego, nice to meet you. Phil, nice to meet you. And July.
Likewise, Vic. Likewise. Appreciate you, Vic.
Let me say, if you ever get an Xbox, you want a league, man, you're always welcome.
I might just do that. Just do that.
Just hit me up, man. You got a spot. It might be on a waiting list currently because that's where we're at, but we'll get you a team, man. I promise. You've helped us out enough where I can I won't let you not be in our league because we need somebody like you in our league that's better at coding than I am. I'm just good at stealing it. So, all right, guys. Appreciate it. And I'll see you.
All right. Have a good night, guys.